Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. Oh, we are on episode 3 of RWBY. And already it's pretty ominous. So last episode, we've got our teams are divided, doing the divide and conquer method. Things seem to be going pretty well on Ruby's team's end, with the exception of Weiss getting yeeted up to Atlas. Which Nora's there, Penny and Blake are there as well with Ruby and them, and there's been a nice parallel between Penny and Oscar's plight, in that both Penny and Oscar have found themselves with this new power, Oscar's being Oz's and Penny's being the Winter Maidens. And they're both struggling with the fact that neither of them really wanted this power, but they're stuck with it now. And what do they do? How do they use that power? What does that mean for their futures? There's a lot of inner complex things going on with these characters. But seemingly Ruby's team, everything's going fine. Blake using Big Brain is like, my dad, our company has control of some of these, droids and stuff. We're fine. We can make things work for us. And things seem to be going well. Things are not going well for the other team. With the exception of them getting rid of a few Grimm and saving some people. Ren is going through some emotional struggle, like him being separated from Nora. They've never really been separated in this series. Ever. So we're getting to see Ren without Nora, and without Nora there to kind of buffer and be a support for him. He kind of needs her. He's a little bit reliant. Nora seems to be doing fine, even though she may not be outwardly expressing it. But Ren, who's usually the calm and collected one, he's having some emotional crisis right now. And so that's concerning. What's also concerning is that there's a talking Grimm. I was so caught up in the horror of this Grimm slinging Oscar around like a sack of potatoes last episode that I completely missed the Grimm talking. And then my brother texted me because he was watching it at his place and was like, "Grimm, talk, what?" And I was like, "Wait, what happened?" So I went back and watched, and his text was in all caps, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." So that's a thing. Nope. I don't know what to do with this, because there's so many theories bouncing around of, was this Grimm human and Salem just turned it into a Grimm, kind of like what's sort of happening with Cinder and her arm. Is this just a highly advanced Grimm that Salem's been tinkering around with for years and is slowly making it do whatever she wants? Or is it something else? I don't know, but the implications that a Grimm can be highly intelligent and can talk is a bit frightening. And he's got Oscar, of course. So I don't think that our crew is getting Oscar back. I think Oscar's getting taken to Salem because that Grimm could just fly away. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen, but I don't know. Ruby has a habit of making you think one thing is going to happen and then completely turn around and something else happens that you weren't expecting. So I'm not going to put any money on it. The thumbnail for this episode is Penny with the maiden powers looking ominous as all get out. And the episode is called Strings. Lots of puppet metaphors, lots of things with Geppetto. Penny's kind of like Pinocchio. Lots of, and it's 18 minutes. Kudos to Rooster Teeth for having these first 3 episodes be between 18 and 19 minutes long. Kudos to y'all. I know that there's the OP and the ED and all that, but still, the consistency, top notch. I have no clue what's going to happen with this show, this episode. I just want Oscar and Penny to be safe because they're kind of my favorite characters. And I should know by now with shows like Banana Fish and other shows, don't claim your favorites because bad things will happen to them, but I can't help it. So thank you all so much for watching. The reaction is going to be in the link down below. And then after the reaction's over, we're going to come back here and I'm going to talk a little bit about the episode. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the reaction. And we are going to start this here for RWBY Episode 3, Volume 8, here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Yeah, so going with the whole theme of Pinocchio, there's the theme that they're going to eventually use the Staff of Creation to make Penny into a real girl. And Penny into an actual person instead of a robot. Which would make things a lot less complicated on the robot end. Pietro wouldn't have to use his aura anymore to bring her back. There's that. there wouldn't be the fail-safe of Penny being a robot so that she can just keep getting repaired. The stakes for her would be a lot higher if she was a real person, but also it would be where she can't get hacked or controlled. So, obviously the downfall is that if they use the staff of creation to make Penny a real girl, then that means Atlas is falling. So I'm curious how that's going to round up. I keep thinking in the back of my head that Fiona's going to come into play, because she has that convenient semblance where she puts everything in the palm of her hand, and I keep thinking that when she has all of the people in Mantle gathered under the crater, that she's just going to suck everybody up into her palm and run away while Atlas falls, and that's how everybody's saved. I hope for that, because that would be a great Deus Ex Machina and would give Fiona a lot of credence and importance. Even if it was something where Fiona sacrificed herself to use that semblance to the extreme, like what Nora does here, that would be really cool. And so I'm wondering if that's going to end up happening. But if Penny's existence can be tied to humanity and her entire molecular structure can be changed in that regard, that also gives me hope in the theory that one day, because my end game is, I feel like my end game is they're not just going to have Oscar die alongside Ozpin and Salem, because that would be really harsh. Maybe they will. Who knows? It's Rooster Teeth. They'll be like, yeah, that's how we're going to go. But in the back of my head, I'm like, they're eventually going to find some way to separate Oscar and Ozpin, because it seems like in my head that's the end game, is that Oscar wants to have his individuality, and in the end, Ozpin and Salem are going to die and move on to the afterlife, and Oscar's going to stay behind. So I'm wondering if they can do that with Penny, then there has to be some way that Oscar and Ozpin can be separated. I don't know. But I'm just theorizing. But man. So yeah, the Ironwood Watts fan fictions, have fun with that. Like, has total control seemingly over Watts, but in reality, no. Watts is just buying his time, like using Ironwood and doing what he wants until the opportune moment where he's going to stab him in the back. We didn't get anything on Oscar this episode, which surprises me, but again, we got 11 more episodes to deal with that. I have a feeling next episode they're going to go back to that. We haven't dealt with Crow and Robin yet. Poor Marrow. Marrow looks like he is the most ready to jump ship out of all of them. I mean, Harriet's going to go down with Ironwood, I'm sure. She's going to be gung-ho till the end. And I'm sure Vine and, oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. They're probably going to stick around with Harriet too. But Marrow Marrow looks like he's ready to just jump ship. He's not happy with any of this. But yeah, the string has been cut from Penny, so she doesn't have her weapon. She just has her maiden powers. Which I'm wondering too, that also lends me to think that they're setting up Penny becoming a real girl because her weapon's gone now. Her weapon's gone, so she's basically just a robot girl with maiden powers. All that we gotta do now is turn her into a real girl. The theory is looking strong, and the staff of creation is blue, and someone in that same theory to Murder Birds commented saying, what if we have the spirit of the Relic of Knowledge is Jinn, the genie? What if the spirit of the staff of creation is like the blue fairy? That would be pretty cool. So I'm curious if we're going to get something like that too. But yeah, Ironwood, dude. And it's so twisted how the Aesops are thinking of everything, because it's like, no, y'all are wrong. Penny is helping Mantle. She's trying to save them by helping everybody else out at the same time. So, like, and then Nora's thing, Nora going friggin' Super Saiyan and having all these scars on her now from all that electricity. Like, I know Ren's gonna freak out if he sees that because she, like, went overboard, but I'm interested in this whole overusing your semblance to the point where it physically hurts you, and her trying to figure out what she can do that's different than Ren. So she's kind of out of commission for the moment. I hope they find a way to help heal her before the next episode, or however we do that. But yeah, this episode went by really fast. There's a lot of setup with Penny and Watts scheming and all these implications with Amity and all of this, but the humor with the office scene where the guy tripped and got coffee on it, like, I'm glad Rooster Teeth kept a little bit of levity, because this volume so far has been pretty dark and pretty ominous, and so I'm glad they've put these little spurts of humor in where we can. But yeah, that was a fast-paced, good episode. So I'm curious what you all thought too down below. Please feel free to comment and give me your feedback, but otherwise, I hope we go back to Oscar episode 4, or at least go to Crow and Robin, see what everybody else is doing. They're hinting that he's in jail, so RWBY now knows where he's at. And I'm sure she's like, my uncle can take care of himself. So And Crow and Robin are plotting to kill Ironwood, so there's that. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I'll be back next week with more RWBY. Bye.